Hello, Dano from the Nocturnal. Nice to meet you.
Dano, nice to meet you too.
So, I want to talk about your character for a little bit. You are the matriarch of this family, and you operate out of this house in Queens. I know that you are a big art collector and have also restored some old homes. So, I was wondering what you thought about, this set that you're pretty much confined to for the entirety of the show. Um, yeah, what was the set design like? How did it feel walking into this place, and what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, it wasn't a set, it was a borrowed home of
Sorry, home. Yeah.
of a Guyanese owner. Um, and you could see that he'd had a modicum of success. And within the house, their idea of success was in the walls and the wallpaper and the columns, etc. And so when I walked in, I was like, huh, this reminds me of somebody who worked their way up from the ground up and they made it to here. And they stayed within community because that's what they're familiar with. So in in its expansion, it was still confined because it didn't go outside of Little Guyana, which is really kind of, I think, was very sort of typical of the times because you feel a safety amongst people who know you. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that was pretty much set up for me very, very nicely. And once I walked into it, I went, okay, this is her home. I got it. I absolutely got it.
Right. What was so great to show it, that feeling of, authenticity, belonging, that these are the homes of the characters. They just did a really great job. And you yourself were born in Georgetown,
Yes.
and what are your thoughts on how Ed and Steven uh, got it right with the
I
story
think,
about a family from Guyana.
yeah, I think the thing that happened was I don't know if anybody else has talked to you about it. There were a lot of rewrites that happened
Hmm.
when we were already working. And you wake up the next morning and kind of go, oh, something completely different. But I think because I think Ed was very familiar with the other family and how they would
Hmm.
live, where their environs would, where their environments would take place. I think the little Guyana family, he may have had a friend or two, but it's like, you have a friend, okay, we have dinners on Friday night, you know,
Right.
and that might be the extent of it. It might have been just talking about curry and, mango lassis and rice and whatever. And when he hired these actors who were from there, they were able to give him so much more information and behavioral moments that they started to rewrite very quickly. And I think what it did, it kind of sort of balanced these two families. That you almost had like a R and J situation with these two, like the Capulets and I forget the other family name. Why am I forgetting that? Now you forget R and J, the Montagues. Um, it was like you equalized these two families so that you could see how completely different they were and the places where they intersect. So where they kind of collide together, a bicycle passing one of the cars, one of the, you know, the stolen, the stolen clothes, the cell phones, the confusion that moments of interaction in, create the drama that Stephen has. So it's a note from her to make things right in your house. Get rid of this child, and the ensuing totally wrong kid, wrong this that makes the story go on this wild goose chase.
So as you just said, you're the one sending out all these orders,
Yeah.
and you're doing it, basically like in a Godfather-esque way. Like from the home, you have other people do your bidding. There's not really a lot of movement or action from your character physically, but you are driving the whole story. So what is what kind of challenge is that, like being like this menacing, powerful figure who's just standing in a room talking to people most of the time?
I think in the funniest ways, the way that you ask that question makes me realize that there are many women in the home who are
Mm-hmm.
running that they do not necessarily go outside. They're not necessarily seen in the streets, but they're running things from the back office. And
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty common actually. So I don't find her menacing at all. I find her a capable woman. Just she does things that necessitate what action needs to be done to get things to be corrected. So I don't find her. At least that's not what I want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
How it comes to you is a whole nother story, of course. But
Right.
I, I never, for one moment, thought of that kind of menacing, like you will get this done or else. I never wanted to put that. It's basically in this business right now. You know what we need to do? Get rid of him. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I wanted very much to play that kind of woman that is. I wouldn't say carte blanche Guyanese, but there are many women like that I remember school principals who never raised their voices, and we were in deathly fear of walking past the principal's open door for fear she might glance at us. So I tried to keep that in mind as a reminder that it doesn't take necessarily force and fist shaking. It can be remarkably quiet
Yeah.
and still.
Well, yeah, I've had a principal or teacher too with a calm voice and a stern look. That's all it took,
That's
and
all.
sent
Yeah.
me shivering in my boots. Um,
Yes.
so, can you tell me a little bit what it was like working with Steven Soderbergh? I know he's someone who's always on the cutting edge, looking forward, trying to do things, in new ways. Just what was it like working with someone like that?
I'm going to tell you that I didn't know. I didn't know his films. Never worked with him before, and there was no time for chit chat and let's get to meet each other. You've just come onto the onto the set. It was like this is our first morning and this is what we're shooting. He has an economy of style that I absolutely love. If you have come with it and you're delivering it, once the scene is over, he's like, great, got it, let's move on. And I think it throws actors in particular that they could actually have done something that's approved so quickly because they're so accustomed to, I wouldn't call it abuse, but certainly like, oh, that was great. Let's do it one more time. When directors get to play and play and play. But he reminds me of someone who's got a particular budget and he needs to get everything done and he wants all of these things in place. And he's never forgotten that. I just feel that he likes to be innovative. He likes to try new things, but he really understands the gift of emotionality. And if you've delivered that, then you're good. Next, let's move on. And that was rare. That's a rare thing.
Yeah, when the cast of Magic Mike about a decade ago said they really appreciated that his whole mantra was the best idea, let the best idea win. That he's not, the dictator of the story. That if an actor comes with an idea that's better than his, he's going to go with it. Did you feel that way, that you were able to contribute on during the process?
Absolutely. I felt that existed in his process, and several other directors that I've worked with who hadn't even given it a thought that it could have been delivered that way. And as opposed to going, well, that's not what I had in mind. They go, oh, thank you. And they're very appreciative of the other way to skin the cat. So yeah, he's got that in spades. Yeah.
So last question I have for you is Steven Soderbergh releases a list of everything he's watched that year. I saw that he rewatched All That Jazz, which you're in, and I think truly one of the greatest movies ever made. I'm a big fan. Did you guys talk about that at all on set? Did he geek out, or is there anything that you were in that he talked about?
No.
All right, you just did the work. No chit chat.
Talked about liquor.
Okay.
He has his. I can't think of what it's called, so I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it. But he has a particular one that he's been introducing to people, and that was one moment in the bar in Guyana. And otherwise, when I talk about this economy of time, I don't think he's had time to, in this particular project, to hang.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not the person that one would hang with. I people think I'm kind of severe.
Well, your character sure is. The man makes a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. He's busy. He's go, go, go.
Yeah. So that's
all right. Well, okay. Well, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time, and love the series, and I'm excited for everyone to get to see it.
terrific. I'm looking forward to the next two as well.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right.